I believe that the public school system isn't allowing that kind of way for kids to express themselves. They take it to the streets, and that's how I was when I was younger as well. And but now I think that programs like this, like the Warehouse, are able to allow that to happen, where they can learn how to paint graffiti or street art or what have you. That's definitely not taught in school. I was drawing since I was a child, so as far as getting into art goes, yeah, that's really all I had sometimes to do was to draw. I didn't have much video games or anything like that, so what I spent the time doing was drawing and expressing myself that way. Since then, I was also influenced, since my mom worked at the Mexican consulate, they always had featured artists from Mexico there. And from there, I researched myself about, Diego Rivera, Frida Kahlo, and then later, of course, graffiti and hip hop. The culture of hip hop then influenced my art as well. And I've been doing it ever since. Then I touched the spray can at the age of 12 and 13 and started spray painting from then on. That's how I cope with a lot of problems in high school, was me drawing and painting. And it allowed me to express myself besides a violent manner. Aspect of legitimacy, of legitimizing your artwork and your format and becoming professional at it. And definitely also providing opportunities. The city is now ramping up their, their mural program and actually wanting to fund the public arts. And I think, but the issue now is getting kids at a younger age in the door as far as painting murals, and then also making the professional aspect to that. Art Basel in Miami, the way I came exposed to it was the Wynwood walls, and I saw artists and a whole video series of, I think it was There Goes the Neighborhood, and I saw different artists go down to Miami and paint different walls in their industrial district, and that really inspired me to want to go check that out. It's like it's a festival for muralism and what it is to be a graffiti writer or a street artist. Yeah, I think exposing and bringing a kid to Art Basel in Miami would definitely open up their eyes and see the possibilities of their art form be flourishing in different realms instead of just mural painting or the very narrow mindset of what it is what art is supposed to be. Because you have a bunch of different artists from all over the world coming down in one place, and that could be technology, filmmaking, muralism, illustration, graphic design, and fashion, and they're all there, intermingling and sharing ideas. It then also, inspire them from whatever everyone else is working on to then be able to create themselves their own form of inspiration to then go off of and bring it back to them where they're from and inspire kids here. Not just that, but then the city's going to recognize no adults, it was kids, it was young, that they're actually going to that professional level and wanting to create and travel with their artwork, and they're actually definitely really serious about it. I think because in the past, it's been really, for the reason for me to go out and want to really be part of Art Basel is because I really just want to meet and really connect to different artists that I could potentially make opportunities happen for our artists here to go out and travel and see other places that this art scene is happening at too. And that's not just even talking about nationally, I'm talking about internationally, and meeting all these different international artists.
I think young artists can benefit from Art Basel the same way young artists can benefit from being exposed to a world full of opportunities. I think young artists in Albuquerque can benefit from being exposed to Art Basel the same way anyone can benefit from being exposed to a broader world. I coach slam poetry. In the summer of 2014, we took 6 kids that had never been to Brave New Voices International Poetry Slam Competition. 30-hour drive all the way to Philadelphia from here. It took us, 2 days and a half. And when they got there, they had no idea that there was a whole world of kids that were just like them. When you're talking in the world of arts and the world of opportunity, there's no limitations on, age and what can happen. So, when you take 5 kids from Albuquerque, New Mexico that are all, amazing artists in their own respect, and you show them to the broader world, the world sees them and they see everyone else that is just like them out there, you know. But you never know. There's a whole world of opportunity and inspiration out there. And if the kids don't see that, then it's going to be hard to keep their flame going out there and holding it down for Albuquerque, New Mexico. Will not only make people like, yo, Albuquerque got some flavor coming out of there, like look at these artists that are coming from Albuquerque, New Mexico, doing big things, they're over here at Art Basel representing for their hometown. But it'll also bring these artists back with a whole new vision, doing much bigger things, to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and maybe even for Albuquerque, New Mexico. I think like Albuquerque is one of these spots where not a lot of people know, especially when you go like more Midwest, East Coast. They don't even know that New Mexico's a state. They're like, what, Mexico? You going to Mexico? But so there's this shadow that's been casted over us a little bit, and the way to get a shadow is you shine a little light on it. A lot of the artists here, they do it for the passion. There's not really a lot of financial prospects here in Albuquerque, New Mexico for young artists that love to do what they do. There's some art buyers here in the city of Albuquerque. I mean, I've seen some pieces go for a couple $100s, but I mean, I think that as far as like living off of selling your art, it's not really gonna happen. That's not realistic, especially coming out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. As far as there being a whole like infrastructure of art exchange here, there's not really that. You don't see that too often in Albuquerque, New Mexico. A lot of the artists, they do their art because they love it, and something that keeps them going. I look forward to the experience. I look forward to connecting. I look forward to introducing one of our young people to an artist of high caliber and them actually having that conversation about art. There are so many different mediums of fashion at Art Basel. You're talking about, people that do sculpting work, people that do murals, people that do, fashion, graphic design, photography. There's even a whole film criteria for Art Basel. And so when you're out there with, a bunch of aspiring youth that do the same thing, of course they're gonna connect and they're gonna, look at some art, appreciate it, and want to find that artist and talk to them.
I recently moved out to Albuquerque just kind of, to seek something new and see what's going on in the city. When I first got out here, the one thing that blew my mind away was the artists. Like, I mean, when I got out here, from the street art to the fine arts to just the people themselves, they embraced the arts. Impressed with that. I thought the city had a lot to offer when it came to art and art culture. When I got here, the first thing I saw was murals. And the mural art game really, I was impressed with, especially since I was not exposed to it. I mean, when I think of Albuquerque, I'm not gonna lie, the first thing I thought about was Bugs Bunny when he said, make a left at Albuquerque. Like, that was my exposure to it. I love when I go to markets and I feel like I see a lot of artists and they're doing very well for themselves financially. I think that's very important and we should support that. Art Basel, Miami, oh man, it's like the Olympics of the art world. It's like, any art gallery or art festival you've been to, imagine that on steroids. Like, that's what Art Basel is. Art Basel is, the city of Miami, Miami Beach, and the Windward Art District becomes like an open canvas. Like, you'll walk around, you see people just painting on walls. You see buildings coming to life with 3D mapping. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. I love it. And I think everyone should be able to be exposed to it at least once in their life. There's people coming from all over the world. You have people from Sweden, from Japan, from Italy, and they're all going to be in this place. Why isn't Albuquerque there? Albuquerque must be there to be represented. I'm a firm believer in the term out of sight, out of mind. So you have to make sure you're in the places where things are going on so people can recognize you. I think young artists can definitely benefit from going to Art Basel. Just exposure. That to me is the key word, exposure. It's all about that. And just watching my family and friends' eyes, like how they just sit there and just like, wow, like I can't believe the amount of art, the quality of art. I think it's very important for people to just be exposed. So I think a lot of the artists can go out there and not only be exposed to different styles of art and technique, but they can also see how some of these artists market themselves and make financial gains off of their art. I think that's very important. With Basel a Bus, we want to take artists from Albuquerque and send them out to Art Basel. We're going to take a bus. It's going to be about 5, 6 of us. We're going to pack up in this bus and we're going to drive out to South Beach. And when we get out there, we're gonna have the rap buses, everyone's gonna have the t-shirts on. It's all about Albuquerque, and we have to represent. We're gonna send a lot of kids out there with video cameras, and we're gonna document this whole experience. You know, they're gonna do testimonials, they're gonna have art walls to work on. So once we get the kids out there, we're going to document the whole process, so when we come back home, we come back to Albuquerque, it's important that we share their experience with the city. So people who haven't been to Art Basel or don't even know what Art Basel is, you know, when we come back, we'll lay it all out for them. Say, hey, here's the survey of the land. I even want to take some skateboarders out there. We can take some skateboarders out there and strap them up with the GoPro and have them get some footage of the city. That's important because the skateboarding scene is really big in Albuquerque. I just want to go have some fun. I love Miami, I love South Beach, I love Art Basel, and I like exposing people to things like that. Things that I think are fun, that excite me, I think they'll excite everyone else, especially young people. So, I mean, just to look in the kid's eye when he starts seeing the city come to life, that's something that I love and I want to document, and I want to share that rest of the world and share it with the city. I think it's going to be beautiful.